What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Uzziah Show, where being young, black, and successful is celebrated. I am your host, Uzziah, your success strategist. And if you have any questions about your career, your business, or your finances, then this is the show for you. Welcome, y'all. So happy to have y'all on. Thank y'all for joining. Please make sure to leave your name and the city that you're from in the comments below so I can give y'all a big shout out. I see you in here, Stan. You said Las Vegas is up in here. Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you so much for joining. Who else we got in the building, man? Thank y'all for joining. So just for those of y'all that are watching this show for the very first time, my name is Uzziah, and in 2013, I paid off over $95,000 in student loans 2 years after graduating from Baylor University. And since that time, I've become a real estate investor, a best-selling author, and an entrepreneur. And the reason I created this show is to help you get to the next level. So welcome. I'm really excited for tonight's topic. This is one that is very important. So please, if you are just joining, feel free to leave a comment below with your name and your city so I can show you some love. Also, y'all know I'm always looking to cam up. Tonight, we're talking about how to build your credit. How many of us need a better credit score? How many of us have issues with our credit? Tonight, we're going to talk about how to build your credit score. As always, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to have y'all camming up. If you have any questions about your credit, and if there's things that you want to know on how to improve your score, then please make sure that you tune in for tonight's broadcast, because y'all are going to be in for a treat. Lastly, y'all know how we do it here. This is a space where we celebrate one another. So if you have accomplished anything recently, please share it with the community, so that way we could give you a round of applause. That way we could give you a big shout out. And if you have a business that you want to see featured on this platform, then y'all know this is what we do here as well. So before we get into tonight's broadcast, I want to go over a few things. Y'all know I strive to give y'all a ton of free game every single show, and tonight's going to be no different. Y'all are going to learn step by step how to improve your credit score very quickly. But before we get into that, I only ask y'all for 3 things in return. Number 1, no bad energy. Listen, y'all, we got people that don't want to see this show around. Positive black male media is foreign to the world. So it's important that when we come together as a community, as a network, that we support each other, that we celebrate each other, that we love each other, and that we bring forth a right example. So please, y'all, no bad energy. We don't always have to agree on everything, but let's keep it positive and let's keep it respectful. Now, number 2, let's keep the engagement flowing. My brother Ak is in the building. Thank you for keeping the engagement flowing, my brother. Shout out to Ak from Louisiana. Shout out to Stan from Vegas. Shout out to Sis Pecoria from Chicago. Thank y'all for coming in, leaving your comments. I really, really, really enjoy it. Thank y'all for letting me know who is in the building. I'm excited for tonight, y'all. Tonight's going to be very special because, as y'all know, our community needs a lot of work when it comes to credit. Okay, so let's keep the comments going. Don't have me up here just talking to myself. Y'all know I want to talk back with y'all. I know y'all be taking notes. I know y'all be listening and soaking up game, but please let me know in real time what is resonating with you. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, y'all, make sure that you please keep the likes up whenever you come into this house. Make sure that you smash that like button. Okay, that's just off top. We need to keep those likes at 50% or higher. And as always, subscribe, because once we reach 10,000 subs, that's when the Blackman Career Clothing line is going on YouTube. Okay, for those of y'all that want to get your gear, for those of y'all that are looking to join the movement, hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you share this channel with other people so they can hit the subscribe button too. And the sooner we get to 10,000 subs, the sooner that this clothing line will be on this channel. Now, if you guys have any questions about your career, your business, or your finances, then I always ask you to put it in the super chat. If you want to sponsor the show because you love where the show is going, please bring super chats. Okay, your donations is what keeps this show going. All right, so make sure that if y'all are trying to donate, which is always much appreciated, y'all see every episode I'm shouting out everybody that does it, then please tap the dollar icon that's directly below the live chat window on YouTube. You should see a dollar icon that allows you to super chat. If you have any questions that you want me to answer personally for you, then put your question in the super chat. Once you do that, then I will pause the show and I will address any question that you have just to help. Now, remember, y'all, this is the only positive black male media platform where we talk about your financial, spiritual, and communal development. And if you don't invest in positive black male media, then nobody else will. So please keep the donations going. Y'all know I do this show 6 days a week, from Sunday through Friday at 7 p.m. Central. It takes a lot of work to put this together. All I ask for in return is your donations. Let me see who else hopped in. Oh, my brother Rodney, he's always in the house. Absolutely. From Melbourne, Florida. Shout out to Florida, man. I'm seeing that we're getting a lot of love, y'all. So thank y'all once again for joining. And if you want me to promote your business on this platform, then please send me an email at uzziah@blackmenscareer.com. Give me your business website. Give me what your business is about, how people can get in contact with you, and I will promote your business on my show for free. I got to make sure it's the right fit. Y'all know I keep the commandments of the Most High God and His only begotten Son. So we got to make sure that when we promote these businesses, it is a good look for our community. But let's get into the show. How to build your credit. In order to build your credit, you must first understand the credit factors. You have to understand the reason why your credit score is what it is. A lot of us see our credit score and we feel like it's a bad credit score, but we can't make sense of why we're getting the number that we're getting. So in today's topic, to show you how to boost your credit score, I'm going to show you the 5 biggest credit factors, and then I'm going to walk you through 10 different ways to raise your credit score as quickly as possible. Make sure that you take notes. So when we talk about credit, a lot of y'all are referring to your FICO score. Your FICO score is the number that many lenders use to determine if you are a good borrower or not. You have a credit history and you have a credit score. So for those of you that want to get a 700 credit score, an 800 credit score, we are talking about your FICO score. I'm putting you up on game and I'm giving you the lingo because this is very important, especially when you're speaking with lenders. Okay. The first thing that affects your credit score is your payment history. This makes up 35% of your score. So if you get this one thing wrong, your credit is already shot. And for a lot of us, this is where we run into our biggest issues. You may have made certain late payments, whether you've been 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late, or longer. That factors in to your payment history. And all it takes is one late payment to impact your score. Now, I want y'all to consider the reason why they make the FICO score like this. Lenders want to know that they can trust you with your credit. They want to know that if they give you money to borrow, you can pay that money back on time and they can keep giving you more money. See, none of us like to let people borrow our money. They promise us they're going to pay it by a certain day and a certain time. And then once it's time for the day to come, we never get the money back. So it's understandable why this plays such an important factor. Now, the second biggest thing that affects your credit score is your credit utilization ratio. And y'all know I'm expecting to have my brother Yasha Allah in the house. He is a credit repair specialist. He has his own credit repair business, and he's going to give y'all some extra tips once I'm done on how to get to the next level. The second biggest thing that affects your credit score is your credit utilization ratio. Let me check these comments real quick to see where we at. And I'm so happy that I shouted out my brother Yashala because he gave a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. Greatly appreciate it. As y'all know, your donations is what keeps the show going. I want to give a big shout out to Sis Pecloria from Chicago. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Y'all, if you want to donate to the show, please tap the dollar icon directly below the live chat box. That will bring a super chat. If you are watching the show after the live broadcast is over, you can still donate via Cash App and PayPal by going to Cash App, $ Black Men's Career, and you can go to PayPal. The link is in the description below. So let's get back on topic. How do you build your credit score fast? As I said, the number one thing that affects your FICO score is your payment history, your ability to make payments on time. The second thing that affects your credit score is your credit utilization ratio. This makes up 30% of your score. So what a lender does is they look at how much credit that you're using up against the limit. This is what's known as revolving credit. Now, a revolving credit line is a credit card. That's an example of revolving credit. You know, every month you're making payments on your credit card. You have a balance, you pay it off, you add more credit on over time. This credit revolves over time. But when you use more than 30% of your credit limit at once, your score goes down. So for example, if you have a credit card that has $1,000 limit on it, but you put more than $300 on the balance, your credit score is going down. You are utilizing too much credit, and this looks like a risk in front of the lenders. When the lenders report where you are to the bureaus look at this and say, hey, why does this guy need to borrow so much money? Why is it that we gave them $1,000 in terms of a limit, but they're using the whole $1,000? That may mean they're spending too far beyond their means. See, here's a bit of free game that I want to put y'all on. Banks never give loans to people that need the money. Banks give out loans to people who already have the financing to do what they need to do. If you're somebody that needs credit because you cannot afford your day-to-day bills, do not take out credit. That is the number one way to destroy your future. If y'all were on last night's show, I had an open panel of Black men talking about some of the biggest things that led to them not building wealth. And one thing that Roy the Chef talked about was how he messed up his credit at a very early age, and that stopped him from certain opportunities for years to come. Banks don't lend money to people that need it. You need to make sure that if you take out a credit card, you can keep the balance under 30%. Okay, so just make sure that y'all take notes on this, because you're not always going to hear this, and I'm going to give y'all some secrets. So just write it down, because this is going to factor into how you can boost your score up quickly. I'm just showing you how the game is played. The third biggest thing that affects your credit score is your credit history length. This is very important, because just like in any walk of life, people care about your track record. They care about your results. 15% of your credit score is determined by your credit history length. Okay. The bureaus want to see, do you have a long-standing history of being good with credit? If you are brand new to building credit, you are not going to be on the same level as somebody that's had credit for the past 5 years. That's just how the game is played, y'all. So if you're looking to buy a house, you need to be building your credit today. You might not even want to buy a house until 3 to 5 years from now, but don't wait until 3 to 5 years to start building credit. You need to prepare for the life that you want tomorrow, today. Bureaus want to make sure that you have a good running history of paying down your credit. And the longer your credit history, the higher your FICO score. Now, I want to tell y'all, some of you guys may have multiple accounts. What the bureaus do is they factor in the average age of your credit. They look at the longest active account and they look at the newest active account, and then they average in those two numbers to give you your score. So you want to make sure that you don't take out too much new credit all at once. And I'm going to break all that down as we move forward. Okay. The average age of your credit will determine your FICO score. The fourth biggest thing that affects your credit score is your credit mix. And let me look at these comments real quick. Let me see what y'all are saying. As always, make sure that you like, share, comment, subscribe, spread the word. Just like Yasha Allah said, there's a lot of our community that needs to know this. One of the biggest downfalls of our community is a lack of financial literacy. So when y'all tune in, y'all are learning how to take this thing to the next level. Quick shout out to Ariel tuning in from Austin, Texas. Now, going back to the fourth biggest thing that affects your credit score, it's your credit mix. How diversified your credit accounts are factors into the type of FICO score that you will get. So some of y'all may not have any credit at all. You don't have any credit cards, no student loans, no mortgage. It's a completely blank slate. So you do not have a credit score. And also, some of you guys may only have a credit card. You may only have an auto loan. The bureaus like to see that you have a wide range of different kinds of credit. They like to see you holding multiple accounts with different types of credit. For example, this includes credit cards, auto loans, student loans, and a mortgage. You will not be able to get a house if lenders do not see you holding different types of credit. As competitive as this housing market is, you need to show a successful track record with different kinds of credit. The reason is because not all credit is weighed the same. So your ability to pay off a mortgage is a lot different in the eyes of a lender than you having a store card whenever you just buy clothes. Those are weighted on two totally different scales. And one of the things that we don't know is that whenever you're trying to buy a home, your credit rating is viewed differently than if you were taking out a credit card or getting something on a lesser scale. So it's very important that whenever you're trying to build your credit history, you have different types of credit factored in. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. The fifth thing that affects your credit score, new credit history. So y'all might remember that I told y'all a little bit before that the bureaus care about how long you've had credit accounts on file. Now, the three major bureaus are Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. Those are the big three. When you think about those big three, they're always going to evaluate you based upon how new your credit is. Just like any other industry, when you come in with something brand new, you're looked at as a rookie. Your credit is not going to be on the same scale as somebody that's been making on-time payments on 3 different lines of credit for the past 10 years. So what you need to focus on is the fact that while this one factor makes up 10% of your credit score, the longer your history, the better. And when lenders see you open all these new accounts at once, it lowers your score because it looks suspect. If you're trying to build your credit and you take out all these different accounts and you have all of these different inquiries on your credit file is going to show lenders that either you're a novice and you don't know what you're doing or that you're desperate. Is going to show them a sign that maybe you cannot afford your day-to-day expenses. Credit bureaus, they judge your credit report based upon a certain level of risk. Okay. So now I want to walk through 10 ways that you can build your credit as quickly as possible. The first thing that you want to do in order to build your credit very quickly is to get a free copy of your credit reports. The reason why I start here is because a lot of us don't realize how we even got to the score that we did. You might be guessing, you'll be thinking, well, hey, I usually pay my bills on time, but you really don't know the specifics of how you got there. If you're going to raise your credit score quickly, you need to understand exactly what is holding your current score back. And because of this, I recommend that you request a free copy of your credit score by contacting the annual credit report request service. Now, I know I'm going to get a little controversial. Uzziah, why don't you just use the online credit reporting companies? Won't they tell you exactly what's going on? No. When you use these online websites, they're either going to make you pay, even though you are legally entitled to a free credit report on an annual basis, or you're going to be directed to a page that does not give you the whole story. When you look at a lot of these different online credit companies, they do not give you the entire story. Some of y'all, you'll be on different sites all day, and for the life of you, figure out, man, why is my credit score still at 700? How come I'm not at an 800 yet? You need to contact the annual credit report credit service. You got all of these third-party companies that are just taking the high-level information. They don't have it all themselves. Trust me when I tell you this. Okay, one thing that you need to know about how credit works is that the bureaus only know what creditors tell them. So if you get an American Express card, American Express can choose whether or not they will report your history to the three major bureaus. And one thing that's very important for you to understand is that not all companies report to all three because there's a filing fee. There's a filing fee that companies have to pay whenever they're running a business, but they want to give that information to the different bureaus. Some companies that you do business with, they may only report your history to one or two creditors, but they want, one or two bureaus, but they won't report it to all three. So that's the reason why you have to request an annual credit report from all three bureaus. Let me check these comments to see what y'all are thinking, man. I'm tired of giving y'all all this free game and y'all not commenting, like y'all not soaking up these gems, man. If y'all are on here, make sure that y'all are commenting. Make sure that you're smashing that like button. I want y'all to notice what Yasha Allah just said. He said 54% of Blacks and Hispanics have poor credit, 37% white, 18% Asian. Okay, so different communities have the credit game on lock a little bit better than others. But I want you to notice what I just said. If you are relying on third-party websites to tell you your credit, that's not always accurate because, for one, some of these third-party websites, they're not actually telling you your FICO score. They're giving you their own version of a score. They come up with their own score that they try to base off of the FICO score, but those two numbers are not one and the same. So the third party company could tell you that your credit is at a 780, but then when you try to buy something, the company is going to pull your credit report from one of the bureaus and they're going to say your credit ain't 780. Who told you that? Experian says you're at a 675. So it's important that you understand how the game is played. One of the reasons why we're not on a certain level as a community is because we have this money, but we don't understand how money works. We don't understand how these industries work and how the game is played. You got to go through the annual credit report request service so that way you can request your exact credit history from the three major credit bureaus. When you look at these online websites, a lot of them will only pull from one, like TransUnion. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all the address of where you can send in your request for your report. I know that we're going old school, y'all, but just bear with me. When you look at this address, okay, this is the address to get your free annual credit report that is legally issued once per year. See, a lot of everyday people, they ain't up on game on this. This is the knowledge that the top have. When you look at old folks that have old money, they're sending in their request to this address. So just make sure that you write this address down. Okay. This is the annual credit report request service. When you write a letter to them, make sure that you include your name, your address, your city, state, and zip code, your date of birth, your social security number, and include a copy of your social security card along with a recent utility bill that has your address on hand. I'm just giving y'all this game. You could lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Okay. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see this. I'm going to put it on the screen again. You're going to send a letter to the annual credit report request service. P.O. Box 105 281, Atlanta, Georgia 30348 5281. In that letter, at the top of the letter, you're going to include your name, your address, your city, state, and zip code, your date of birth, your social security number, and you'll also need to have a copy of your social security card along with a recent utility bill. The reason you need to have all of this is because when the bureaus start giving off information, they don't want to send the information to the wrong person. Your credit information is very sensitive data. So when you reach out to the annual credit report request service, within 30 days, they are legally obligated to send you your report back for free. But if you do not send all of the right information, they're going to send you a little postcard in the mail and they're going to tell you what you missed. Okay. Now, what you want to do after doing this is to just wait for the information to come. This is step one. I'm giving you all the 10 things that you need to do to boost your score fast. Just send in a letter. It's just very basic and very generic. And for those of y'all that want to know more on how to do this, I put this in my program 0 to 6 figures, but it's very, very simple. I just gave y'all the information. Okay. Your name, your address, city, state, zip, date of birth, social security number, copy of your social security card, and recent utility bill. And in the letter, you are simply requesting to receive a free copy of your annual credit report from the three major bureaus. Okay, let's move on. The second thing that you need in order to boost your score fast is to build 3 lines of credit for 6 months. When you build these 3 lines of credit for 6 months, it needs to be in good standing. Now, let me explain in further detail what I mean by this. I don't mean stop what you're doing, find the 3, quickest credit cards that pop up on your screen and start getting them. You need to build an established credit history. That's the reason why I showed y'all the factors. I already showed y'all that the number one thing that credit bureaus look at is your payment history. Then what comes after that is your utilization ratio, as long as the age of your credit. So a key way that you can improve your credit report is by having 3 lines of credit that have been in good standing for 6 months or longer. Okay. Now, some of y'all, you may already have credit. That factors into the 3. I'm not necessarily telling you to go out and open up 3 new accounts, but to simply evaluate how many existing credit accounts you already have. You need a minimum of 3 accounts in order to build your credit, in order to be taken seriously. If you're trying to get to a credit score of 800 or higher, and it's worth me pointing out here, how many of you guys want to buy homes? How many of you guys are looking to buy a car and you need an auto loan? There are so many purchases that you will make that depend on your credit score. And a lot of y'all will never know this, but the reason why you may be paying more on your auto insurance is because of a poor credit score. They never tell you this. This is behind the scenes information. Your auto insurance company looks at your credit report because your credit score tells them how risky you are as a driver. They do studies behind the scenes to show a direct correlation between good credit and safe driving. I just want you to think about this. Who do you think of when you think about good credit? You think about somebody old, somebody that's really responsible, somebody that's really disciplined, somebody that's not living their life crazy, whose life isn't a mess. That's the type of person that I think about when I think about somebody with good credit. I'm thinking about somebody who's very mature. So likewise, when it comes to the auto insurance companies, those are the exact same factors that determines a good driver. Is this person disciplined? Is this person mature? Do they have a spirit of self-control, or are they all over the place? The reason why you may be paying higher fees and don't understand why is because the auto insurance company is looking at your credit score. And if you're at a 500 or 600, they say, nah, this person is a lot more likely to get into an accident because their life is in shambles. Look at their credit. If they can't pay a bill on time, chances are they're not following the speed limit. I know y'all think that those two have nothing to do with each other, but I'm telling you, this is how the game is played. And this is the reason why you see certain communities exploiting this, because they'll make sure that they have good credit and they'll make sure that their driving standards are up to par. Let me look at these comments real quick. Jim says, I'm at 650 now in terms of my credit. My school loans are at 120,000. Not looking good. Don't worry, Jim. We'll focus on boosting that up. If y'all are just joining, make sure that you smash the like button on your way in, please. Make sure that you tap the dollar icon directly below. That will bring a super chat donation to this channel to keep the show going. A lot of y'all don't know this, but the super chats is what helps to keep this show running, y'all. So if you want to see more shows just like this, then please make a donation. Now, let's get back to the subject. What are the 10 ways that you can build your credit score as quickly as possible? Number 1, send in a letter to the annual credit report request service asking to get your credit report from the three major bureaus. You are legally entitled to receive this information for free once a year. As you're waiting those 30 days, because they are legally obligated to get back to you within that 30 days time, as you're waiting for that letter to come back in the mail that tells you exactly where your credit is going wrong, you're going to be working behind the scenes to boost up your credit by building 3 lines of credit in good standing for at least 6 months. Now, some of you guys may already have 1 or 2 credit accounts. That just means you need 1 more. Some of you guys may have 3 accounts already. Don't take out anything new. Some of you guys may have 6 or more existing credit accounts available. If you're at 6 or higher, you're getting a bit excessive. You really want to stay anywhere between 3 to 5 if you're really trying to optimize your credit. If you're at 6 or more, that becomes a bad look as well. Y'all have to understand your credit scores are algorithmic. Y'all know we're using these SAT words, so I had to get my statement ready. There is an algorithm that determines your score. It's not a person just sitting down at a screen randomly picking people's scores for them. So there's a computerized system that looks at your credit history and says, if you have X number of credit, boost the score up. If you don't have X amount of credit accounts, take the score down. If you have too much in terms of your credit accounts, you have too many credit accounts behind your name, take the score down. You need to make sure that you get in the sweet spot of the algorithm. It is a game, y'all. Money is a game. Credit is a game. And the sooner that you understand the rules, the better that you can win, the better the chance that you have of winning the game. Okay. So let's say that you don't have any credit at all. Let's say that you're afraid of using credit, or you're on the path to building your credit from scratch. You didn't already jacked your credit up. Maybe your accounts have already closed. They've been charged off. You might have gone through a bankruptcy. What I advise you to do is to start off with a secured credit card. And as I've said on the previous shows, what I do is I will never use the credit card for a day-to-day expense, but I will have that credit card open and I will just charge 1 bill to the account. It will be a recurring subscription, and I'll put that account on auto pay so that way I never miss it. Some of you guys might want to check out self.inc. It is a credit builder loan. For those of you guys that are looking to have different credit accounts open, but you don't want to unnecessarily just go out and buy a car to say that you're building credit, make sure that you check out self.inc, because you will set up a self-building credit loan where the whole purpose of the loan is to just show that you have a long-standing history of making on-time payments. And the good thing about that self-builder loan is that you're actually receiving the money back at the end of the term. So imagine that you started a self-builder loan. Let's say it's for 6 months. Every payment that you make per month, you're going to get that back at the end of the loan minus interest. So say that it's a $600 loan. You're going to get that $600 back minus interest and transaction fees. So it's actually like a savings account, but it's converted into a loan. So that way it can show the bureaus, hey, this person has a pretty good track record of making payments on time. There's been a lot of people that have used self.inc that have success stories about how it's worked for them. Now, I'm not an affiliate of Self. I don't have any dog in the fight there. All I'm telling you is what your options are. You are entitled to 1 self builder loan per year. So I just want you to know this is another opportunity for you to be able to boost your credit. Okay. You need to have 3 lines of credit in good standing for 6 months. I strongly recommend that you have 2 to 3 major credit cards opened. The reason I say you need 2 to 3 major credit cards opened is because remember what I told y'all before about credit mix as well as your credit utilization ratio. Now, if you have no credit cards and you're looking to just get started, I would not recommend that you try to take out all these new cards at one time. That could be a recipe for disaster. You need to start with one card, build that up, and then get another card over time. Okay. And like I said, if you don't have any credit cards, start off with a secured card. Let me check these comments real quick. Let me see if any super chats came in yet. Shout out to Maya, my sister Shamaya. It's so good to see you on, my sister. I pray that all is well. This sister Shamaya, y'all, she is a jet setter. So I am so surprised that she would make time for little old me. Thank you, sister, for the $10 super chat. And I hope that this information is valuable to you. So Aman says he has 4 credit cards, 1 auto loan, utilization at 35%. Yeah, if I were you, I would definitely bring down the utilization to 30% or less. For those of y'all that are in the market to buy a home, one of the most important factors that they're going to look at is your debt to income ratio. Keep those numbers below 30%, my people. There's nothing wrong with you, using a credit card and paying that balance off every month, but do not allow your utilization to exceed 30% because that's when they will start dinging. Now, in a situation like Akaman, they're not going to ding you horribly because you're at, your 5 percentage points over, but it still will factor into your score nonetheless. So he says, so it's just like credit strong as well, right? Yes, absolutely. So like I said, y'all, if you don't have loans and you don't want loans, an easy way to build your credit is just through a self credit building loan. You could check that out at self.inc. Okay. But for those of y'all that are trying to buy a home at some point, or your credit score is important to you, if you want to have a credit score in the 800s, you have to have 2 to 3 major credit cards, because the bureaus will not take you seriously unless you have it. If you only have 1 credit card, you're not experienced in their eyes. Even if you've had the credit for a while, even if you've paid on it on time, they want to see a mixture of accounts. Okay. So when you're thinking about buying a home, some of you guys have your best shot at buying a home if you have a student loan, if you have an auto loan, and you have 2 credit cards that are in good standing. Now, this does not mean go out and take out a student loan. I highly recommend that you do not do that, y'all, because student loans are a huge scam. I'm just telling you guys, when you're in the market to make a major purchase, this is what they're looking for. So timing matters. If you're looking to buy something and you're wondering when is the best time to buy it, you want to make sure that you already have these things well laid out. And for those of you guys that are looking into buying a home, and I strongly recommend renting for a while for a lot of y'all, just to be able to clean your finances up, do not buy a home prematurely, because a home most of the time is not an asset. It is a liability. Things only become assets when someone is paying you for the asset that you've acquired. But in any case, make sure that you build up those 3 lines of credit for 6 months. Number 3. Now, this goes back to your credit report. A lot of people don't realize that the majority of credit reports in America today are erroneous. Over 50% of everybody's credit has an error on file. So your credit might be jacked up right now because the wrong information is there. Let me give you guys a prime example. When I was buying a rental property for the very first time, I had to go through the process of working with an underwriter. And I almost got held back from getting the property because the underwriter told me that I had a credit card that was delinquent under my name. Now, I didn't have a credit card that I was actively using at that time, so I couldn't make sense of why they said that. Turns out a family member was delinquent on their account, but the account reflected under my name. I had another family member that their home was associated with a foreclosure. That was under my name, but I never bought a house and that wasn't my credit card. And so for a lot of us, and this even opens up a whole other can of worms. A lot of y'all black folks, we got family members and all types of people that didn't put, things under your name just to be able to qualify for credit. This is why you need to open up your report. Your family members or other people may never tell you what they've done. Some of y'all might have been a very young child when certain people put things under your name. And then 20 years later, when it's time for you to buy your first house, you're like, damn, why, can I not get this house? Why is my credit so jacked up? The reason your credit is jacked up is because all of these errors that are on file. Sometimes other people's names are on your file. When there are more than one name on your credit report, that can lower your score also because it shows that there's confusion. You may not live at a certain address that is on file. That is a sign of a credit error. There are all of these little errors that are taking you away from getting your optimal score. That's the reason why you need to get the report and start disputing it. But when you start disputing it, and this kind of takes us to number 4, you don't only just want to start disputing the errors like wrong name. Wasn't my credit card. I don't know who this person is. It happens all the time. The 4th thing that you want to focus on is disputing negative credit in order of difficulty. So if you have a student loan, like let me go back to Jim. Jim says, I'm at 650 credit now, but my student loans are at 120K. If you have any student loans that are in default, that would be the very first line item that I would focus on, because it takes you 9 months to work through disputing a default on your student loans. So I keep telling y'all about them student loans, man. Student loans is the devil. If you have a student loan that went into default, you need to get out in front of that as quickly as possible. Okay. And just to point out this as a legal disclaimer, y'all, I hate that I have to do this, but I got to be professional. I am not a licensed credit repair agent. The information that you are getting is purely educational. Whatever you do with this information is on you, blah, blah, blah. Y'all know how that goes. If you have a student loan and you went in default, you need to tackle that immediately. Okay, because that one is going to be a lot harder to get off of your accounts than others. Let's keep these super chats coming, y'all. All this information that y'all getting, where these super chats at? Hit that dollar icon directly below the chat. Make sure that you support the show, y'all. I'm giving you a lot of this information that I'm giving to y'all. I could have easily charged for this. And I'm not expecting everybody to donate, but for those of y'all that love what this channel is about, then please make sure that you bring forth a sponsorship. Even if you're watching this show and it's no longer live, then make sure that you donate via Cash App or PayPal. Okay, so just make sure that you donate to keep this channel online, because without your support, there is no show. You want to start disputing your negative credit remarks in order of difficulty. Okay, so once you get past that student loan, then you want to start off in terms of ease. I know that it sounds contradictory what I just said, but I promise you there's a method behind my madness. The reason why you're dealing with a default student loan payment first is because that one takes the longest to get off a file. That you're going to go through the longest dispute process with them is going to take 9 months, and you want to be able to build your credit fast. The fastest way is to deal with the longest bottleneck. Now, as soon as you take care of that, then you want to start knocking off things that you can easily get off of your report. So, okay, here's what I'm saying, y'all. What I'm saying is there's one part of building your credit that's you just paying the bill on time. You don't have to dispute anything for your credit to increase. If you have a high utilization ratio, by you paying that down is going to boost your score. One half of building your credit is just making the payment on time and lowering your debt if you already have it. Another part of boosting your credit is getting the errors off your profile. You need to get the errors off of your report. Okay, so I would recommend that you start off with paid off accounts. Some of you guys have been late in times past on an account that you have now paid off. If you've paid off the account, that would be the easiest account to be able to remove from your credit report, because the people are not going to fight back and forth with you because you've already given them their money. You're going to have the hardest time disputing things on your credit score if you haven't paid people and they want their money. But if you already paid them and you're good to go, when you file a dispute, the bureaus will reach out to the creditor and they'll say, hey, what's up with this? The creditors will not be as likely to fight the dispute with the bureau because they already have their money and they're not willing to have one of their employees spend time chasing down a dispute. So let me tell you guys how this thing kind of works behind the scenes. When you get your reports from the bureaus, you are given an opportunity to file a dispute. When you file a dispute based upon the information that you get from the bureaus, the creditors are responsible for responding to that dispute, either saying, hey, this thing is actually true, this person did pay late, or, hey, you know what, I won't fight it, you could let them have it, they win. So when you file a dispute, the creditor is responsible for providing whatever information to the bureau to prove whether they are right or you're wrong. You see, so you're coming to the table saying, hey, bureaus, these guys are wrong. I'm not late on this. The bureau says, oh, really? Hey, let me contact American Express. American Express, such and such said, they're not late. What's up? What happened? Oh, yeah, they're late. Here's the paperwork right here. If you've already paid the different creditors, they're not going to go through the hassle of doing that, because all of your information with the creditor is already archived. It's already in a file. If you don't have a current account with them, they cannot easily retrieve that data in their system. Think about how hard it is for a lot of these companies to keep up with their paperwork. A lot of people are able to improve their credit score just by putting these creditors through the hassle of having to prove the things that are really true. So even if you are legit late on something, not every business can go through the hassle of having an employee dig up all the paperwork, because you have to go through different things like a debt validation and other things. We won't get into all of that in the interest of time. But the point that I'm making is There are a lot of companies that just don't want to go round and round in fighting. Okay. So you want to start in the order of difficulty. If you have paid off accounts, dispute those first. Then the 90-day late accounts, then the 60-day late accounts, then the 30-day late payments. The reason why you want to do it in this order is because it'll be harder on the creditors to prove it. And these are the things that are knocking you off the most. If you got stuff on file that shows that you're 90 days late on something, that's dragging your score down hard. If you got something that's 60 days late, dragging your score down hard, so on and so forth. So you're not just randomly disputing things. And here's another thing. When you file your disputes, you need to file them one by one. If you try to do a blanket dispute where you got 10 things that you're saying, hey, all of this is wrong, it's going to look like cap. Because, you know, for you to have 10 things on your file, and then you're expecting the bureaus to take you serious that all these 10 things are wrong at once, there's no way that a person is going to be likely to do that, right? You got to think about human nature. If you are working for one of the bureaus and you read a letter and, you know, let's just say it's a handwritten letter that says, hey, you know, this one thing is wrong. Check this error. It's on file. They're more likely to believe that than to believe that their entire credit rating system is flawed, y'all. A lot of y'all don't know this. I actually threw out a little hack right there, a little ninja hack whenever I talked about a handwritten letter. Studies show that some bureaus are actually more receptive to a handwritten letter about one dispute because it looks like much more of a genuine mistake if somebody went out of their way to write a handwritten letter telling you about what the mistake was than if you just had a typed up generic letter that could have been sent a billion times. You don't have to do that, but I'm just giving you as much game as possible. Let me check these comments. Are there any new super chats? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Asha Allah, for the $10 super chat. See, my people, thank you for supporting positive black male media. Thank you for let's investing in each other. I'm investing in y'all so that way, you know, we could take this thing to the next level, because when you improve your credit, that gives you a better opportunity to be able to buy the house that you want, buy the car that you want, have lower insurance costs. You're making an investment in me so I can make an investment in you. So thank you so much, Yasha Allah, for that $10 super chat. Thank you once again, my sister Shemaya, for that $10 super chat. Thanks, Jim, for the $10 super chat. Thank you, Rodney, for that $5 super chat. And I have a question from Akaman, $10 super chat. Thanks again. So I have 4 credit cards, right? That's enough, but get the utilization down around 30% or lower, the lower the better, right? Absolutely. When your credit utilization is at 30% or higher, that sends a message to the credit bureaus that you are at risk. Again, it's all an algorithm. Thank you so much, Nikki P, for that $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. I love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for the sponsorship. Thank y'all for making the time and effort I put into this show worth it, y'all. When I don't get super chats, it lets me know that my time is not being valued. So I appreciate y'all for bringing forth your sponsorships, because it really shows me that y'all appreciate the content. It inspires me to work hard to make these shows better and better. As y'all can see, I just don't get on here and talk. When I do a show, I'm well prepared with everything mapped out to give you guys as much value as possible. I appreciate your time. So I'm not just on here to ramble on. And I'm going to put a cam up link for those of y'all that want to cam up as well. Yasha Allah, get ready for me. I want you to start kind of giving some game to the people as well on anything that I may have missed. And for those of y'all that are just joining, make sure that you smash that like button. That will tell YouTube to get this message out to more people. Okay, y'all. So we talked about disputing negative credit remarks. The fifth thing that you want to do. Okay, now before I get off that fourth point, let me also say this. Make sure that you take on every dispute one by one. I know it might feel a little tedious, but trust me, this is how they do it. Okay, what I'm telling you guys today is everything that actual credit companies do. I'm telling you what the credit repair companies do. I'm telling you what the credit attorneys do. Some of y'all could legit start up your own credit repair business just based upon the information I'm giving out on today's show. Okay, when you sign up for a credit repair company, right? They're asking you for your information so they can pull your files on their own. Everything that I said to do here, they're going to do all of that for you. They're going to pull your records for you. They're going to get access to the data. And one by one, they're going to start disputing it. That's the reason why if you work with any reputable credit repair company, they're typically going to tell you that your credit improvement can take anywhere between 6 months to a couple years, depending on how messed up your credit is. The reason they tell you that is because they need time to work through the dispute process. They're doing the things that I'm showing you, where they're writing out investigation letters to the bureaus. They're getting back the feedback. They're disputing it. They're then waiting for the creditors to see if they're going to fight it or not. If they fight it, they're going to send another letter. If they don't fight it, then the credit repair company is going to send a message to the bureau saying, hey, the creditors are not fighting this. This proves that I was right. Please update your records. There's a process. There's an entire workflow that goes through the process of credit repair. And that's why I have it outlined in my bonus program, Build Your Credit Video Vault in 0 to 6 Figures. I'll give you guys information about that a little bit later. So I'm giving you guys the DIY knowledge if you don't want to have to pay a credit repair company, because a lot of these companies may not even get you results, or they're going to put you on a monthly retainer where they're going to stall certain things out on purpose just to make more money. A lot of times you could go to a credit repair attorney and the only thing that they're going to do is print out the exact same letter that I told you to submit. So, for those of you guys that just want to do it on your own and be able to keep some money in your pocket, this is the reason why I'm giving you the information. If y'all got money like that to be paying credit repair companies and credit attorneys, and you just don't want to be bothered in the hassle of going through the disputes because you got a lot of stuff, then just go through the credit repair companies. If you only got like 1 or 2 negative marks on your report, just do it yourself, man. It would be a lot cheaper that way. But that's the reason why the first thing that I told y'all to do is to request a free copy of your credit report, because if it's only 1 or 2 things rather than 5 to 10, it's just something easy that you can knock out yourself. Now, let me go back to what I was saying before. You want to focus on taking out the easiest things first, then the hardest pieces last, outside of what I told you all about the defaulted student loans, because that's its own monster. Some of the hardest marks to get off of your credit score includes anything that is like a public record. So for example, if you had a judgment that was filed against you where you owed somebody money, you didn't pay, and then they took you to court because of it, that's going to be hard to get off of your credit, because a judge already filed a judgment against you proving that you did in fact owe. You lost the case, and now your assets are going to be seized. Don't ever experience that if that hasn't happened already. Anything pertaining to your home, that's going to be hard to take off, because mortgages are the most weighted credit information on a scale. Like I always tell you guys, typically home ownership is the most expensive purchase that most adults will make. So whenever you have a late payment or a foreclosure on a home, that really sticks to your credit really bad. So you want to avoid those. So again, case in point, if there's any bill that you must pay on time, pay your mortgage on time. Just take my word for it. If you're in a bad situation where you can legit not afford to make every payment on time, make sure out of anything you pay that mortgage on time for the very reason that I said to you now. It's weighted differently. The next thing that you want to keep in mind is you want to keep your accounts open and active, okay? You get points for the age of your credit. A lot of you guys may not use your credit like that, but if you keep your credit inactive for too long, it's going to close automatically. You don't want to close the account. Like I always said, at minimum, you want to use your credit cards twice per year, once every 6 months. This will just let the credit bureaus know that you still got it going on. All right. So whether it's just to go and get gas, to go and get groceries, just keep it below that 30% though. Okay. For any existing lines of credit, pay off the debts. If it's not already charged off or if it's not in collection, pay off the debts. That's number 6. I'm just rolling through these real quick now. Number 7, you need to set up an automated system that allows you to pay the bills on time. Set up an automated system where you can pay off the bills on time. A lot of y'all still stuck in the Stone Age. Why you not on auto pay? A lot of y'all still doing it like your grandmother, where you wait for the bill to come in the mail. You put your reading glasses on, then you calling up the companies. Come on, man. It's 2021. Go on an online account, set up auto pay, get it off your hands. Okay. But make sure that everything is accounted for, because even sometimes your credit card that you are sometimes your debit card that you were using to pay off your credit card can expire. Sometimes your checking account information can run into an error. So even if you have the information on auto pay, just make sure that everything is still being paid on time. Number 8, order a copy of your credit report once a year. Trust me, y'all. Like I always say, it's so much easier when you maintain a thing versus when you're trying to repair a thing from the ground up. I always talk about money like your house. When you're getting your financial house in order, you don't want to let clothes be all over the house and it looks like a disaster. You just want to do 15 minutes of cleaning a day. For people that are really well kept, they don't have to tear their house upside down because they got stuff all over the place. No, they just do a little bit of maintenance, a little wiping down, a little, folding of clothes, a little putting, things in the laundry, whatever it may be. Just 15 minutes of maintenance will go a very long way. You don't know what errors come to your credit every year. Every year, there are new errors being added to credit. So you want to make sure that you order it once a year for free, just to make sure that you're good to go. Number 9, you want to make sure that you pay down on your credit cards before any other kind of installment loan. Okay, so this goes back to Akaman a little bit earlier. Okay, so say that you have a car note, right? And you have credit cards also, and you just want to focus on getting out of debt. If you're trying to build your credit, you want to pay down the debt that's on your credit cards first, because your credit cards are weighted higher in terms of your FICO score. Remember what I was saying to you guys about that utilization ratio? The utilization ratio, which makes up 30% of y'all's credit, is based around revolving credit, more than installment credit. Revolving credit is credit cards. Okay. So if you have a series of debts and you're wanting to boost your credit all at the same time, start with credit cards first. And the 10th thing is, once you've done the 9, and you could even kind of work this one in as you do it. I tend to use Credit Karma, along with Experian's website, which comes with Experian Boost, to monitor and improve my credit. Okay. So the reason why I put this one 10th is because, like I told y'all before, when y'all use these third-party credit companies, it does not give you all of your data with 100% accuracy. There are certain websites that you can pay a certain fee for to get you your FICO score. Just look it up. But I use Credit Karma, which is free, and it gives you a general ballpark of how your credit is doing. Not the 100% accurate, but it gives me a general ballpark of where things are going. And for a lot of y'all, you need to go on Experian's website. You don't need to get their paid stuff. Just set up a free account and start using Experian Boost. What Experian Boost is it's a service that they offer where if you just tell Experian like some of the bills that you pay every month, they'll start boosting your scores right there. So some of y'all could get y'all's credit scores boosted tonight just by setting up Experian Boost. Like if you literally go on the Experian website, you could literally tell them, hey, I paid Netflix here. I paid this other thing there. Experian will look to your bank account to prove that you pay that. And then they'll look and say, oh, okay, cool. You've been paying this every month. Let me start boosting up your credit score. That's a boosted credit right there. At the end of the day, y'all, when you look at a lot of your purchases that you make, they're going to look at these different bureaus, and a lot of companies, especially when buying a home, they're going to factor in the average of your big 3 on top of their own additional process. So as I'm telling you guys, Experian Boost, don't just take Experian alone. You need to make sure that your number is good with Experian. You need to make sure that your number is good with Credit Karma. You need to make sure that your number is good with Equifax. Okay. Fawn Jackson sent a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much, Fawn, for that. For those of y'all that are just joining, make sure to smash that like button. Please make sure that y'all are donating because that's what keeps this show going. Thank y'all so much for all of your support. Let's continue to invest in each other. Baron King said, if I have a secured credit card, once I make a purchase with the credit card, do I immediately pay it right back? No, what I would do is I would make a purchase that's no more than 20% of my utilization ratio. So, for example, let's say that you get a secured credit card on $200. That's the limit. Don't take out an expense that's any more than $20. When you add anything beyond that 20%, when you add anything beyond that 30%, that's when your number is going down. But since you're in the stage of credit building with a secured card, you want to err on the side of caution and use 20% or less. I would just do that charge, and then I would have the account on auto pay. So the charge will be there. A statement will appear on your card's account. Then just set up an auto pay where the auto pay pays down that balance in full on the due date of the account. I would not do it immediately because, again, you kind of want to go through the process, like I said, of letting the bureaus know, hey, this guy's using the card. They'll notify the bureaus, hey, okay, we're rocking and rolling now. He got $20 on his card. Let's see what he does with it. Then your auto pay will then make the payment on the next go around. So then the next time after the creditor already reported to the bureau, this is how much money you spent, then the creditor will go back to the bureau and say, hey, just so you know, he did pay it on time. Have you covered secured credit cards for those who may be rebuilding their credit? Absolutely. That was a little bit earlier in the show. For those of y'all that are just tuning in, you take out a secured credit card when you done already jacked your credit up. Your cards are closed. If you have cards that are closed, like you went through a charge off, and now you're starting again from scratch, I strongly recommend that you take out a secured credit card and you don't put any more than 20% of your expenses on that account. Whatever the limit is on that account, don't go beyond 20% on that, so that way you can start your way back up. But over time, you want to have 2 to 3 credit cards long term. Don't let them close. Don't open them all at once, because remember, one of the credit factors is new credit. Some of y'all, you might be buying 5 or 6 different things at once. And when they pull inquiries on your credit, that takes your score down just a bit. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring the specialist in the house. I can't do this topic justice myself. I'm going to bring in the man with the master plan, my brother Yasha Allah. Thank you. Welcome. For those of y'all that are just joining, this brother has an entire credit repair side hustle that he does. He's going to give you all a lot of great information. Please show your support by making a super chat. Just tap the dollar icon directly in below the live chat box. For those of y'all that are not watching this in real time, make sure that you bring a cash app to $ Black Men's Career, or via PayPal at paypal.me/Black Men's Career. My PayPal and my Cash App information is also in the description below. My brother Yasha Allah, you're on. Welcome.
Shalom, big brother. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Look, you covered most of it all. So on there. And remember, as the brother said, in the credit, there's 2 types of credit repair people that does it. You have one that does a sweep, and a sweep is a clean, and a repair. A repair builds your credit faster because there are different tricks of the trade, which people don't even know about. You mean like trade lines? What are trade lines? A lot of people don't know what trade lines are. Those are tools to build your credit faster. So, like I said, self is good. Strong credit is good. Kickoff is good. I have them all. I just use them because it builds on that credit, which I don't even touch. Like you said earlier, get a credit card or secure credit card and just pay certain bills. I just leave it alone. Just let it keep going on auto pay. You know what I mean? And there's different strategies. You can have a credit card and use the max. You can use the max, but you gotta pay the whole thing back off before the due date to keep your utilization the same. That's a must. And what I do is, as long as you're on 30%, you're good. I get down to 2%. If you can't, do what the brother said. Keep it down. Just don't use more than the max, your utilization, and that's it. Because you'll get yourself in debt. So you want to make sure you do that. But like you said, bankruptcy, hard to get off. Foreclosure, hard to get off. Student loans, hard to get off. That's just the way it is. And nobody needs a license in credit repair. You just know how to do it. And I have to make this disclaimer. You can do it yourself. I have to tell you that right now. You can do it yourself. So, and also the credit game is changing because the government is going to take over. It's called the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Once the government takes it over, you are done. There's no fixing. There's no repairing. They take the middle score and you stuck. That's the way it is.
So tell us a little bit more about that one, Yasha Allah. Kind of walk us through the government's plan for taking over credit, and what are some of the downsides in them running our credit report versus how the major bureaus do things now?
The major bureaus, it's said that there's discrepancy for us not being fair for discrimination. That's number one. Number two is they're making money off you. When somebody somebody has the credit card companies, repair companies, bureaus are getting paid every single time. It's not free. And a lot of people don't know that. They're getting paid. But the government is said, no. Now they gotta pay me. I'm going to control everything, and I'm going to make it fair. So they say. And it came out during Obama's time. A lot of people don't know that. And they put in the works right now to change it where the credit bureaus is gone. Because Experian and all those are private entities. So this is why you send a dispute letter. When you do that, you don't have a contract to put this on your record at all. So you're disputing that, make them go through the hassle. That's the name of the game. And a lot of people don't know that. And you gotta be on time far as responding, send it certified mail. You gotta send it certified mail. You gotta do that. So they, like you said, the 30 day to respond, and then they can respond 30 days saying we need a 15-day extension. They can get 2 15-day extensions, but they had to send you a letter stating that. You know what I mean? So be careful of that. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta be consistent. If you're not consistent, you slack up. They'll try to get you not to do it. That's where it is. Because they keep you in the system, they're making money. And a lot of people don't know that.
So real quick, I just want to give a big shout out to Lyra, Texan Israelite, with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Lyra, for all of the support and the sponsorship. Y'all better be soaking up this game, man. This is life-changing information. For those of y'all that are just joining, make sure that you smash that like button. Make sure that you bring forth a super chat. It's going down. So, you know, I really want to dig a little bit deeper into this whole credit game with you because, again, like I said, I'm just putting on, but this is the man with the master plan right here, y'all. This is how we really get this credit thing in order. When we talk about these bureaus, right? What do you think is one of the biggest myths, maybe, that most people have about how the bureaus work? Like, for example, I was talking a little bit earlier about how people don't realize that not all companies send credit information to the bureaus at all. So I'll give an example. I've had tenants that stay with my place, right? And they'll come to me and they'll be like, yo, my credit score ain't right. It's not showing, you know, my rental history with you. And I'm like, yeah, no, it ain't showing your rental history with you because I've never reported it. It's not been obligated for me to do that. Like, not these businesses that are out here, they choose what they report because, like you said, it's a business. Like, okay, when you, like, I'll give an example. For those of y'all that are trying to buy a car, when you're trying to buy a car, the bureau makes money every time one of these car companies run an inquiry behind the report. The company decides to pay the bureau to say, hey, how's this person's credit? So it's a money-making scheme, and not all businesses are participating. And even when you have businesses that you have credit with, like you could legit have a business that you've been flawless with, and they never report your credit. They never report your payment history. But then you could have a company that you're horrible with, and they're reporting it to all 3 bureaus every month. And so even when you think about your credit report, my people, don't think about it in terms of, oh, this is really exactly how I've been when it comes to my credit. No, it is just a scorecard of whatever the companies have reported. And that's the reason why even when you're dealing with credit cards, sometimes most people don't realize your credit score could actually be going down because the creditor isn't reporting to the bureau what your limit is on your credit card. So if the only thing that they are reporting is how much you've spent on the credit card, that actually takes points off, because the bureaus will presume that you are at your maximum ratio. If they never tell the bureaus what the limit is, the bureaus will assume that that's you're maxing out on credit. And that's the reason why you need to look at your credit reports. But again, I was saying all of that to say, my brother Yasha Allah, what do you think is one of the biggest myths that people have about how the credit game truly works?
The myth is they believe that they can't fight it. That's the main thing. They believe they cannot fight it, but you can. That's why they came with the Consumer Financial Protection Agency, for you to fight it by law. Like you said earlier, you have that right, but you got to do it correctly. If you do it wrong, you can get flagged. You don't want to get flagged. If you don't know that, you can do it yourself, but if you get flagged, you're going to have a problem. That's the trick of the trade. So you have to know how to do that, or what the letters to send, because everybody sends 609 letters. You can Google it today. You can't do that no more. You can, but you take your chances. And it might work, it might not work. And there's thousands and thousands, there's hundreds of repair guys. It's up to you. I can't tell you who to go to, whoever not to go to. You got to be comfortable, but you better know what you're getting into. A suite, or repair, or just a clean. And that's all they're going to pay for. That's all they're going to give you. They're not giving you anything else. Because what you gave today is I was like, oh my gosh, he's giving $1,800 worth of stuff out, because it's $1,800 minimum. They tell you, no, bro, I need $2,400. I need $32. I need $18. If you want them gems.
Can you say that again, brother Yasha Allah? If you were to put a price tag on this video, if somebody were to go and do business with somebody else to get this exact same information, how much would these businesses pay?
Minimum of 18 on up. Minimum.
And all I ask people is for a $5 to $10 super chat. Come on, y'all. Please show support, man. I'm trying to give this info. I'm trying to get his game to our community, so that way we can save money and get to the next level. But I do need y'all support in doing this, y'all, because as the brother said, we go through a lot of lengths to put this together. You was about to say something, sir. My apologies.
And like you said, I was like, this brother's giving all the free good stuff. Like, oh my gosh. Because I had to pay for all this stuff. It didn't cost me cheap. I could have waited.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But we don't do that. I'm like you say, you need the credit cards. You need the accounts. That's just a must. And I tell people, when we do it, don't apply for any credit card. Just wait and wait the system. Do this and just wait. Don't wait. You gotta wait for it to hit. You gotta wait for it to start occurring. You gotta get those 6 months on the books. That's a must. You know what I mean? What about the trade lines? We're not doing trade lines. It's a waste of my time. I won't even charge you, because you're not going to get anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
There's no 45 days clean your credit. There's no 9 days. Listen, people, I don't do that. I'll tell you, it's a 90% chance. That's it, because it's always changing. And people don't understand, but your chance is 90% of fixing everything. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And they don't understand. Or you try to take your time. Don't get a $20,000 credit card and you going crazy. with the swiping.
Yeah.
Dude, really?
Now.
And I see it all the time. Like, brother, I got my car, I got my house, and I'm broken. What happened? I let the wife get in, the kids, and bro, I hook you up, but
absolutely.
You got to pay another price.
Absolutely. That's a major factor as well. Putting other people on your credit card. Like, do not be giving y'all's kids your credit cards because that's how a lot of y'all's credit gets destroyed also. Now, real quick, for those of y'all that are on, I'm going to give y'all another key gem as long as I get another super chat. If there's another super chat that comes in during this show live, I'm going to give y'all a very key gem when it comes to filing disputes. Y'all don't know this, but when you file disputes, you have to file it a certain kind of way. If you bring forth a super chat by hitting that dollar icon directly under the live chat, I will reveal the gem. Now, real quick, Yasha Allah, we just gonna wait to see if they do that. If they do it, cool, we on. If they don't, then hey, if they file a dispute the wrong way, then that's on them. While we're waiting for that, can you please let people know how they can get in contact with you for your services?
It's bettersolutions21@gmail.com. betterlivingsolutions21@gmail.com. That's betterlivingsolutions21@gmail.com. And the thing about it is, I always ask, what do you want out of it? Because I don't know. If you tell me what you want, then we can go from there. And Credit Karma is one of the best free ones, as close as possible. And you can see what you actually have. Not all of it, but you have an idea. And like you said earlier, when you look at Credit Karma, it's free, people. Look in the corner, I think the left-hand corner, and you see all your names, all those addresses. They got to go. You gotta do an update file. Those are points. Everything's are points. Your address, your job, your phone number, your email are points. They don't tell you this, but it is. You need one address. You need one address, one job, one phone number. That's a must. So you gotta do an update file. If you have charge-offs, do not pay charge-offs. Just don't do it. Because charge-offs are already paid off. They have insurance, it's charged off. When you see the credit person on the bottom, they bought that for pennies on the dollar trying to get your money. Leave it alone. Just dispute it. If you know how. You know what I mean?
That's major game right there, man. Can I tell you something? Man, I've had tens of thousands of dollars that I've had to pay just to be able to find all of that out the hard way. Like, I wish I would have, man, I'll tell you what, boy, I say, I wish I would have known everything that you're saying right now years ago, because I just can't imagine what I could have done with that money instead of giving it all away. So thank you so much for that, sir. Anything else you got for him?
Yes. Also, get you a business account. I mean, LLC. You ain't got to do nothing with it. Get a business LLC. Get it registered with the state. Go to the bank. Get the paperwork. Open your checking account with your business name on. Just let it sit there. And then later on, apply for a business credit card. You got to do that. You got to do that. But the game is changing. And once it's over, it is over. Self, not self. Let it ride. Pay 9 had different levels. Self, strong credit had different levels to pay how much you want for your account to show. $5,000, $2,500, $1,000, whatever. But with self, after 3 months, self is going to give you a credit card. You'll see it on when you log on. Get it. It's $100, but who cares? I just pay my phone bill with it. But I pay it all back before due date. That's what I do, up to 2% left. But if you don't, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're on.
Right. So I pay it all back. If you don't have the money, like you said, make sure you don't use more, like I said, 30% of it. That's it. And have it on auto pay. And then you get alerted. Everything I do, I get alerted to my phone. And if you pay 2 days, 3 days earlier, you get a little bit more points with that. And a lot of people don't know that. And so with trade, what else? I'm gonna see comfort real quick. You cut out all the categories. You did all of that. And there's also 5 other credit bureaus nobody's telling you about at all. SageStream, LexisNexis, you know what I mean? Optimus. Those are what your Your check systems. Those are for bad checks, felonies. You can't get a permit because you got a felony.
Right.
You gotta know how to freeze that. You can freeze, it's free. So they can't check anything to verify. That's what the credit bureaus do. They go through them to verify what you have. You know what I mean? Nexus Lexus have everything about you since you've been born.
Wow.
On their file.
Wow. That's crazy.
Everything.
Thank you so much for bringing this out, my brother. And once again, for those of y'all that are looking to repair your credit, go to betterlivingsolutions21@gmail.com, and our brother Yasha Allah on the screen will help y'all out. Now, I see that we got a $5 super chat. I see Rodney took me up on the offer. I told y'all if we get another super chat, then there would be a special gem that I would give y'all concerning the dispute process. So thank you so much for that. And for any of y'all who also want to support, let me throw this out here. For any of y'all who also want to support, then please make sure that you bring your super chat. Just hit the $ icon in below this chat window. Like y'all should see it. There's a chat window that y'all are chatting on right now for this live broadcast. Directly below that is a $. That's for the super chat. Just hit that, and that will allow you to bring a donation for the show. To dispute, when you're disputing, y'all ready for it? When you're disputing, never accept fault. Never accept fault when you are sending a dispute letter. One of the things that you must know whenever you are filing a dispute is that you can run the risk of cementing the delinquency. You run the risk of cementing the negative mark. So here's what I mean, y'all. Okay, when you get that credit report, right? When you get when that report tells you like what negative marks you have on the report, disputing it at that point is fair game because that negative mark has yet to be contested. They're just telling you what is there. When you file a dispute against it, you have the opportunity to remove it off of your report. So when you file a dispute, do not say, oh, yeah, you know, I'm so sorry that I was late on 30 days on this bill. You know, my grandmother died and, you know, I just didn't feel like paying my bills no more. Do not send that to the bureaus. The bureaus will not care what happened. When you send that dispute, accepting fault, you are giving them a written confirmation that the negative mark is accurate. But up until that point, they did not know. Okay, you have to understand there's a difference between credit reporting versus credit verification. When you just see the negative mark on your report, that's just reporting. They're just saying, hey, this happened. You could dispute it or not. That's why you're legally entitled to do it. When you file your disputes, always file it from the position that you didn't do it. Because, like I told y'all on yesterday's show, you may be lucky to get certain things that you did actually do removed off of your report simply because of some error that the creditor made when filing it, or because the creditor doesn't actually want to go through the hassle of the dispute process when following up with the bureau. So, for example, you might have actually did be 30 days late. Maybe in error, the creditor sent to the bureau the wrong account number. All you have to do is send a dispute letter saying, hey, this is an error. The account number is wrong. And then right from there, it could be wiped from your report. The whole thing could be wiped from the report right there. Do not say, hey, y'all, you know, I was late. You know, I took my dog for a walk and I forgot to pay it. The minute that you write anything suggestive that you actually were late, the bureaus can take that and they can cement it on your report, and that negative report will last with you for the next 7 years. All of your reporting information will stay on your credit report for a very long time. So that was the gym, y'all. Hopefully you got some good info from that. Yashala, you had one last thing that you wanted to say, sir? We're getting ready to shut this thing down.
Right, 3 more quick things. Trade lines. Trade lines are good for opportunity. 2 months. They cost, but to buy a house, to buy a car with no problem, trade lines is the key. They've been using this for years, which I didn't even know it myself. You know what I mean? You gotta know what kind of trade lines to get, when to add it, how much to add. You have, like you said, you have to stack it in a certain way. You don't want to get flagged either at one time, a week apart, like et cetera, et cetera. But that's for your opportunity. Don't apply for credit cards. When you apply for credit cards the correct way, you want to do 4 to 5 at one time when you get one inquiry. That's it. If you don't understand that, that's what you want to do. And the Capital One, Discovery are good for secure credit cards because they open up to a regular credit card after so many months if you're paying on time. But if you got bankruptcy, don't apply. You ain't getting nothing. That's even secure. That's just the way it is. Bankruptcy is one of the worst. And just because you have a bill, student loan, we get off your credit card, all that, it doesn't mean you don't pay it. You got to pay it. If it's owed, it does not legally bind the contract with the credit bureaus. That's why they have to take it off when you send the right dispute letters in. And people don't, no, you do owe the money because it can't come back the following year if you're not paying on it because they want to keep you down to have your interest rate bad. It's a punishment.
Yes, sir.
That's all your grade score is. It's a punishment, like school. He's good in this. Now we can't trust him in this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's it. Kickoff is only $2. That's it. Let it ride. You buy some email on the site, some kind of ebook, whatever ebook you want. Just buy it. Let it ride. They ask for extension. Let it ride because that $2 is building. Because like your brother said, it's a machine that reads it. It's algorithm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all make sure to check out betterlivingsolutions21@gmail.com. This brother got a wealth of knowledge. If y'all want more, make sure you'll check it out. As y'all can see, he ready. But we got to keep this show flowing, y'all. So make sure that y'all send him an email. Sir Yashala, thank you as always for the support. It's greatly appreciated. And I pray that our people have soaked up much wisdom. All right now. So y'all, did y'all enjoy today's episode? Did y'all get the game y'all needed to boost your credit? See, these are all things that we've never been taught, but boy, with the right education, y'all, we could really go a long way. Y'all know I'm always going to give y'all 2 free stocks. Y'all know I do this thing for the culture. Webull, our sponsor, is giving away 2 free stocks just by setting up an account. Now, Webull is an online brokerage that allows you to not only invest in stocks, but you can also invest in cryptocurrency directly from their website. So with no further ado, you can click the link in the description below and in the comments section to get your 2 free stocks. So that way you can get on the road to being an investor. Now, for those of y'all that loved everything that we went over tonight, I highly recommend you check out my free masterclass, The 3 Keys to Financial Freedom. Okay, that is a major key on how we can succeed as a community. If you're looking to create generational wealth, to have real assets to pass down to your family, then make sure that you check this out. All right. So I want us to talk tomorrow about investing in real estate. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow, how to invest in real estate. We're going to talk about more specifically, maybe some information on buying your first property, buying your first home. Who knows? Y'all tune in tomorrow. Let's see what we're going to have in store. It's going to be very important. You'll always know that we talk about how to create generational wealth. If you have any questions on the topic, make sure you are on live. If you got anybody that you know of that's looking to buy investment property or get in the real estate game, then make sure that they tune in live as well. Okay. So listen, y'all. Remember, I promote businesses on this platform for free. So if you have a business and you want to see it promoted, send me an email at uzziah@blackmenscareer.com. All of y'all that have been sending me emails thus far, y'all bear with me. I've been waiting to put some things out there for the world to see. Definitely going to be getting in contact with y'all soon. If you have any ideas on topics that you want to see for the show, send me an email at uzziah@blackmenscareer.com, and I will make sure that I consider it for future episodes. Thank y'all to everybody who brought forth super chats. Thank you, Rodney, for bringing forth that super chat for the dispute. Thank you, Lyra, for the $10 super chat. Y'all make sure that y'all check out Midweek Meditations, man. My church, True Spirit of Christ, right now just started a 9 o'clock show. That's why I'm trying to wrap this thing up. They got an excellent episode in store for y'all tonight. A lot of y'all have heard about this Lil Nas X pregnancy. It's crazy, y'all. Make sure that y'all tune in. Check out the True Spirit of Christ YouTube channel. They got that live show going on right now. Quick shout out to Fawn for the $5 super chat. Nikki P for the $5 super chat. Akaman for the $10 super chat. Rodney had another $5 super chat. Jim, Maya, Yasha Allah. Thank you to all of y'all for bringing forth your super chats on tonight's show. And I can't forget about Gloria, as well as the extra super chat that Yasha Allah brought. Y'all have been incredible. Listen, man, I love y'all. Let's keep this show going. Make sure that you share this. Make sure that you're talking about it, y'all. We need to make sure that this gets into every Black household in America and throughout the world, y'all. I love y'all. I'm praying for y'all. Stay focused, boost your credit, and keep pushing.